Hey everyone, it is late at night and I am Norman. For years I've been drooling over the Polerouter, and finally, after all this time, I actually own one. These watches have a great history, and the story about how I obtained this particular watch is also an interesting tale to tell. I'll be sure to do a follow-up video sharing both of those, but tonight I want to review it. So let's flip the camera around and take a look at the brilliant Universal Geneve Polerouter. Here is the amazing Polerouter. That is just phenomenal. Now I do have to tell part of the story of how I got this because you'll notice that I'm not unboxing it. So I believe that the reason that this piece was so affordable is because likely most collectors would run away from this particular watch because it does not have its box or papers and there's no visible reference number on the case back. But for me, this thing is perfect. It's no date and it looks like new, which is absolutely amazing. I've put it on one of my favorite shell Cordovan straps. I love this buckle. That is so much fun. Looking at the iconic lugs on this watch, they kind of angle down. They're very round, kind of bulbous here at the end, which is something that I noticed in pictures. I love the overall case shape, the way it just smoothly transitions into the lugs there. Overall, it has a fairly thin appearance to it, which is great. And look at that crown. That is super cool. We have the U there, some branding on it. I really like the crown's shape and winding it. Very clicky, nice and smooth. Pop this out. It is scary easy to move these hands. We'll see what it's like after I have it serviced, which I'll be doing soon. And you can see that this does not hack. Looking at the case back, we simply have Universal Geneve Polerouter and a great looking globe. It's very shallow etching there. This has been polished, and I believe that's why the reference number isn't there. Who knows? This is probably a collection of parts from more than one watch, as you'll find out when we look at it closer later on. But look at the state of that case. It's obviously been polished, but it looks like whoever did it did a great job on it. And look at that crystal. Gotta love a nice, huge box crystal. Oh, that is so cool. And the star of the show is definitely the dial. Look at that silver band around the outside of it. I love crosshairs. Super stoked. And it's a no date, so that design isn't interrupted by a date window. We have automatic and the fact that it's a micro-rotor called out there. And Universal Geneve Polerouter with some branding up there. As you can see, this is a pretty glossy dial. I'm trying to keep myself out of the reflection there. You can really hear the micro-rotor inside this. It actually sounds pretty cool. It sounds like someone's manually winding a watch. Let me capture some of that audio for you. I'm pretty sure that that's what it's supposed to sound like. But again, we'll find out for sure when I have it serviced. As you can see, the hands are loomed on this. And these little tiny dot indices are also loomed. So let's charge this up and see what happens. So you can see that the indices are glowing, and they're pretty cool how tiny they are, but they don't last very long. You'll also notice that the hands are not glowing. So that leads me to believe that the hands might be original, but this dial is definitely newer. I'm not sure if it's a dial that wasn't on a watch, maybe sitting new in packaging or something, and this got redialed with it. I'm really not sure. But it's pretty cool that those are glowing. Although without the hands glowing, they aren't much help. As for the specifications on this watch, the case size is listed as being 34.5 millimeters. However, when I measured it with my trusty calipers, I got 34 on the nose. So this is definitely a vintage size watch, which for me personally is perfect. The case height is 12 millimeters, and that includes the crystal, so it's not overly thick at all. The lug to lug is 43 millimeters. The lug width is 18 millimeters. The crown is 6 millimeters. The year that these were produced was between 1955 and 1969. I'm not sure exactly what year this one would have been produced, or at least the vast majority of parts that make up this watch right now, but somewhere within that time frame. I'm also not exactly sure what caliber is in this watch. It either has the earlier caliber 215 or the one that they put in later on, which is the caliber 218. And as I mentioned, this has a micro-rotor in it. I'm hoping that it has the 218 in it because there were some improvements that were made to the original movement in that one. Alright, so let me take the Timex Marlin off, and I'll show you what this brilliant watch looks like on the wrist. Here is the amazing Polerouter on my 7-inch or 17.78 centimeter wrist. Just look at that thing. It is so cool to look down at your wrist and see this thing glistening down there. That silver minutes track catches the light so well with its amazing texture that's on there. This is one of two of the most beautiful watches I've ever had on my wrist. This and the Reverso that I tried on a while ago. I still can't believe that I own a Polerouter. That is so crazy. So classy. Just absolutely gorgeous. This is definitely one of my favorite watches. So I put this watch on the timographer, and the movement didn't look terribly healthy. It has a low amplitude, the beat error is just terrible. So soon I'm going to be sending it off for a servicing, and we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping it just needs a thorough cleaning, disassembly, reassembly, and being calibrated correctly. So the first time I checked it, it was about a minute fast. The next day I checked it again and it was about half a minute slow. So there you have it. I actually own a Polerouter and it's absolutely brilliant. Thanks for watching.